Welcome to This Week, This Morning, the weekly video that gets you up to speed on the week's most important developments for your business and your taxes. Last week, I mentioned that I would be surprised if I woke up on Friday morning to see that an agreement was reached between Democrats and Republicans regarding the new stimulus package. And unfortunately, I was not surprised. Worst, what I was surprised with is that the Senate adjourned for recess until September. In the meantime, Trump did what Trump does, throwing a curveball into the whole situation and signing some executive orders over the weekend. Seeing the impasse present in the Senate, he decided to take matters into his own hands. A lot of these orders can be ignored because he doesn't have the legal authority to carry them out. However, there are two specific orders that are worth focusing on at this point: the payroll tax deferral and the unemployment bonus extension. So under the order for payroll tax deferral, Social Security taxes paid for on the employee side would be deferred from September 1st through December 31st. This would only be applicable to employees earning less than $100K per year on an annualized basis. Social Security tax is 6.2% of wages, so the maximum amount that an employee could defer during this period is $2,232, and this is only if their paycheck dates were perfectly aligned with the deferral period. The reason that this is worth paying attention to is that it appears there is legal authority for Trump to carry this out, since it's neither an increase in spending nor a cut in taxes, since it's just a tax deferral. And because it's just a tax deferral, some people might say, why bother? Here's why. There will be substantial pressure on Congress to forgive this debt come tax filing season in 2021, lest struggling Americans have to take yet another financial hit they can't afford. And while you may disagree with the merit of the argument, you can't deny the probability that it will be used when the time comes, since we are in an era of government dependence. So whether the debt would be forgiven is clearly a toss-up, but if you don't have any debt to be forgiven, you're going to be on the outside looking in. And Congress almost certainly wouldn't provide a tax credit to those who didn't defer their taxes to put them level with those who did. In the same way that you can't get a PPP loan forgiven if you didn't receive one in the first place, you could expect a similar thought process to emerge if Congress did decide to forgive the payroll tax debt. The take home here is to defer your Social Security taxes if the opportunity presents itself. Save that additional money in a savings account and be ready to part with it if that debt doesn't get forgiven. If it does, you'll be happy you did. And if it doesn't, at least you'll have earned a bit of interest on the money in the meantime. Regarding unemployment benefits, one of Trump's executive orders was to extend a $400 a week bonus compared to the $600 a week that the unemployed were receiving until the end of July. It turns out this will actually be $300 a week since the order was modified to allow the $100 state contribution to come from existing payments, essentially wiping out the requirement to come up with the additional $100. So there's a lot to be figured out here, and the funds that the order will be drawing upon to pay for this benefit will be used up in a matter of weeks. So when would you actually see any of this money? My estimate would be mid-September at the very earliest. You would get retroactive benefits dating back to the beginning of August, but you need to make whatever arrangements you can with creditors and vendors in the meantime until the benefits are received. So I really wish that I could provide more clarity for you all this week, but it looks like we're in a bit of a holding pattern here for a few weeks with Congress. But we should know whether Trump's executive orders are viable or not relatively soon. On that, we will keep an eye, and we will be sure to keep you all up to speed. See you next week.